of the bend. Oh, that's
somebody else.
Shunt.
That's somebody else.
That's a biggie.
And that's all bits of bodywork as well there. Now,
it's red bodywork, isn't it?
Where is that?
That's the top of Eau Rouge, isn't it? That's the top of Eau Rouge here.
That is the kink up out of Eau Rouge. But that's not Viso.
That's not Viso. That's another accident. There.
Matthias Lauda's in the pits. Can Artam in the pits? Oh my goodness! Is that Neil Jani? Well, that looked like one of the racing engineering cars. So either Neil Jani or Borja Garcia. Well, now this is a major problem. Hiroki Yoshimoto also out of the race. Yoshimoto out, and his teammate Ernesto Viso, the BCN competition team from Barcelona, losing both cars in half a lap, and it is Neil Jani. Wow, and that was a big lose as well. Maybe the water is now flowing thicker and faster through Eau Rouge, Gareth.
I suspect what's happened there, Martin, is Yoshimoto was slowed more than Jani expected, and in the spray, Jani couldn't see him, and the pair have clashed coming out of Eau Rouge following Viso's accident.
As you're saying during our earlier commercial break, the marshals are going to have really tired arms from waving flags non-stop all day today, and there's another example of exactly why.
Yep.
So, safety car once more, and there's absolutely no question that that is the correct decision. There is debris littering the track, never mind the perimeter, and in these conditions that is just so treacherous. Well, there's Rocky Yoshimoto, the diminutive Japanese driver. I guess he probably had his bell rung pretty convincingly by that as well. Neil Jani we saw out of the car as well, and Ernesto Viso we saw out of the car. Now the danger here as well, of course they're coming through fast there, aren't they? Is they can't see where they're going, and there are stationary vehicles. And you know, flatbed trucks, for goodness sake. Does nobody get it in these conditions? Red flag. Well, it had to happen, and it is the only sensible course of action, I think. Completed 10 laps of the 18, and oh dear, let's have a look here. This is Neil Jani. No, this is
Viso, isn't it? I think.
Is that Viso or Yoshimoto doing the same thing? No, that's Viso. Now, did we not pick up following that Neil Jani went off after him?
Yeah, Jani and Yoshimoto were some sort of 20-30 seconds down the road. So I think what's happened is Yoshimoto has arrived at the incident, seen the yellow flag, slowed.
That's Yoshimoto going.
No, that's a replay.
No, that's Viso, but there was a darker car behind him.
Yeah, but the others were about 30 seconds back. They were well down the road. I think Yoshimoto has arrived at the incident and has hit Yoshimoto, who was slowed too much for the yellows.
Could well have been.
You couldn't see him, you see.
Could well have been. But Neil Jani, that was a monster wreck. Oh! And somebody went off behind the yellow flags. Did you see that? That's why we saw that replay on the extreme right. Somebody ran into the back of somebody, and that may have been Neil Jani's crash, because that was a major launch over the back of somebody. Well, steaming wreckage everywhere, and everybody, it seems, out of their cars safely. So just in the corner, top right corner of the screen, in that last little bit of replay, behind the stationary vehicles, the slow-moving vehicles going up the hill, there was a two-car incident, and I think that's what ripped the wheels off Neil Jani's car and launched him into the air. Other kerfuffles, Artam and Lauda getting together at the bus stop, and that was unrelated, but enough to put certainly the Turkish driver out of the race, maybe the Austrian as well. Well, he did go into the pits, in fact, Matthias Lauda, after that, so clearly that dented his nose. So then, race results, and past 50%, so it will be full points for Adam Carroll. Will claim win number 3 of the championship. After San Marino and Monaco, he now wins at Spa. Imola, Monaco and Spa, not bad tracks to be racing on, never mind to have them in your winning lineup. So Carroll wins. Borja Garcia scores his best result of the year in 2nd position. Scott Speed claims his 6th podium of the season in 3rd, still winless, Scott Speed, which is perhaps a bit of a surprise still. Nico Rosberg 4th. Critically, Heikki Kovalainen was only 8th. As the race was stopped, and on countback hadn't lost any position, so he won't pick any up there either. So Adam Carroll, then, you're seeing in replay behind the safety car, is our winner. Well, we're going to take a quick commercial break in a minute or two, and then might have a chance to come back and see the drivers on the podium. Coming up at midday Central European time, 11 British time, we'll be heading to Germany's Lausitzring, the Euro Speedway, for the World Superbike Championship. But we'll be back at Spa before that to bring you up to date on the full classified pools check. So stay with us in what has been a frustrating morning here at Spa. We'll be back on the other side of this short word. Welcome back live at Spa. You're watching Supernova driver Adam Carroll, the Ulsterman, starting this 21st race of the GP2 series from pole and leading them round onto the grid. Behind the safety car, race red flag. Now, Gareth, when I was doing my ARDS course, it wasn't that long ago, my racing driver training told me that red flag means the race will stop. Look at the puncture on the left rear there of Lopez' car, so he's picked up some debris damage. Over half distance, so I would have thought in most championships you can declare a full points or even a partial points result, so you can declare a result, plus clock ticking. Hello, 11:45 Central European time. They've got to finish this and allow 2 hours before the Formula 1 race gets underway. I don't think there's any chance of them restarting this.
No, I think you're probably right, but normally when a red flag comes out it's with a view to restarting, unless there's something like 75-80% of gone of the race. But usually you come back to the grid, stop, wait for instructions and then restart when the track's clear.
Well, there is, who was that? Well, that was Lopez, wasn't it? Looping round earlier on. Picked up a left rear puncher in the damage. And we saw a number of cars. Lauda and Artam getting together. Neil Jani having a huge wreck with potentially, we think, Jani-Yoshimoto, but I'm not sure it was a red car that he ran into the back of, if that's what we saw. These are incidents from earlier in a very wet GP2 race, round 21 of the championship. There's Artam and Lauda getting together. Artam retired pretty much on the spot. Lauda went to the pits. This is Ernesto Viso having the mother and father of all long looping loses out of Eau Rouge. I don't think Jacques Villeneuve's ever even had a crash that big at Eau Rouge. And then we see a little replay, well, we saw earlier a little replay. Watch the top right of the screen. If we see a shot now of some corner workers, that's a big impact. He's really rattled his legs. That's the start of Neil Jani's crash. Now, I don't see in that shot. There is another shot though. There's Neil Jani. The Swiss again seemed to be okay, but very shaken.
But he was airborne as he came into shot. That's what makes me think he's clipped the back of Yoshimoto.
We saw a car hitting and riding over the back of another car. If they show the clip again, it starts with stationary vehicles attending to Viso's wreck. Oh, look at dear, oh dear. There's the halt and the lame. It doesn't even cover it. There's not a car out there probably that hasn't got some debris damage or the potential of